Good morning, dear students. A very warm welcome to the class again. Hope every one of you is taking good care of yourself and your family. So let's start with the class. Now, before starting with the next topic of the chapter, I would like to give you the glimpse of the activities which are there in the first part of chapter which we have covered in the previous class. So let's start. This is what is being shown on your screen is activity 5.1. You can see a microscope. As soon as we'll return to the school, this is the first practical we are going to do. Activity is that we have to make the slide of onion peel cells under the microscope, and at that time we'll be introducing you the various parts of microscope and what are their functions. These are the cells we'll prepare once we'll see our slide under the microscope. So this is the first activity. Now, second activity which is being given in your NCERT book is that you can collect material from different sources, and when you make their temporary mounts, you can see different types of cells. Even in an onion, there are variety of cells present. Here you can see the cells of onion roots and the cells of onion peel. Now, dear students, here you can see osmosis. Remember osmosis we have done in the previous class. Osmosis is basically the movement of water molecule from the area of higher concentration to the area of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Now here in this activity, that is activity 5.3, you can see osmosis with an egg. Now, what you have to do is, you have to remove the shell of 2 eggs by dissolving them into dilute hydrochloric acid. As the shell is mostly made up of calcium carbonate, so it will easily dissolve. What is left is an outer thin skin which now encloses the cells. Put one of the egg in pure water and the other one into concentrated salt solution. Observe them after 5 minutes. You will find the egg you have put in distilled water, which is actually pure water, actually has swollen up. On the other hand, the one which you have put in concentrated salt solution has shrunk. The reason is because the one which is in distilled water, the medium for it was hypotonic. So it actually get lot of water, it gains lot of water. On the other hand, the egg which was in concentrated salt solution, it has to lose water because the medium in which it is kept is hypertonic for it. Now the same experiment can be done with raisins also. You can see the raisin which was put in pure water, it has swollen up. On the other hand, the raisin which was put in concentrated salt solution, it has actually loose water, so it has shrunken. Same experiment as we have seen in case of eggs, same experiment is being repeated here. Now this is another activity. You have to find out about electron microscope. Here you can see the picture of electron microscope. Find it more from various sources. Now, after going through all these activities, getting a glimpse of all of them, let's start with the next topic, cell wall. Now, dear students, you all know that cell wall is an outer hard covering of the cell which maintains the shape of the cell. It is generally made up of cellulose in plant cells. Now, if you remember in the previous lecture also, I have talked about plasmolysis. It is a process in which the content of cell move away from the cell wall. It either shrinks or contracts, actually the plasma membrane along with the protoplasm. When a cell loses water due to osmosis, when it is kept in hypertonic solution, because it is losing water. Now, the question comes, can dead cells absorb water? No. Dead cell cannot absorb water through osmosis. Now, how plants, fungi and bacteria they can exist in hypotonic medium? That is because of cell wall. What happens is, when plants, fungi and bacteria they are being kept in such situations, when they are kept in hypotonic medium, they actually have rigid cell wall which actually prevent them from bursting. How it happens? Now, when the cell gains up water, it swells up, and the content of protoplasm and the plasma membrane exert pressure on the cell wall. But cell wall being rigid exert equal pressure on the cell membrane. As a result, they do not burst irrespective of how extreme hypotonic medium they are in. Now again, these diagrams help us to understand plasmolysis better. Now plasmolysis, I repeat, this phenomena occur when the plant is in hypertonic solution. What happens is the content of the protoplasm, the cell membrane, they are losing water, so they are shrinking. As they shrink, you can see, as they shrink, a gap is created between the plasma membrane and the cell wall, and this phenomena in which the gap is created between the cell wall and the plasma membrane because the cell is losing out water, because the cell is kept in hypertonic medium, such phenomena is called as plasmolysis, and this occur in plant cells. Now there is another activity in your book, that is activity 5.6. What you have to do in this particular activity is you have to take royo leaves. The diagram is being shown here. You can see the royo leaves. Now these royo leaves, and these are the cells of royo leaves. Now what is being done in this particular activity is that first the royo cells are being tested under the salt or sugar solution, and they show osmosis at that time. But when the same activity is repeated after boiling the leaf, the cells fails to show osmosis because dead cells do not show osmosis. So this phenomena of osmosis can be observed only in living cells. Dead cells do not show this process. Dear students, now let's talk about nucleus. Nucleus, you all know, it is the very important organelle for the cell because it is basically the brain of the cell. Now nucleus is dense and a spherical organelle. It is bound by two membranes, both together forming the nuclear envelope. Now nuclear envelope contain many pores which are called as nuclear pores. It has a fluid present inside the nucleus called nucleoplasm. Nucleus basically contain chromosomes, and chromosome contain genes, and you all know that genes are basically the centers of genetic information. They are responsible for inheritance of characters from one generation into another. Now chromosomes basically contain two type of things: the DNA, which is responsible for organizing and constructing new cells; proteins, which help in packaging and condensation of DNA. Now this is the structure of nucleus. You can see the chromatin here, the nuclear membrane, the nucleoplasm, nucleolus, and the nuclear pores. Now this is chromatin. Chromatin is a thread-like material present in the cell, the chromatin organizing itself into chromosomes whenever the cell is ready to divide. Now what are the important functions performed by the nucleus? Nucleus control all the metabolic activities of the cell. It is also the storehouse of genes, which is concerned with the transmission of hereditary information from one generation into another. Here, dear students, you can see the chromosome. If we open up a chromosome, this is how the structure appears to be. There are histones, which are the packaging proteins, and the double helical structure of DNA. Let's talk about the nucleoid. This is a new term for you. Nucleoid basically means when there are certain cells which do not have a well-defined nucleus because they lack a nuclear membrane. Such a nucleus with no definite nuclear boundaries is called a nucleoid, and the cells which contain nucleoid instead of nucleus in them, such cells are called prokaryotic cells, and the organisms whose cell do not have a definite nuclear membrane are called prokaryotes. Now these prokaryotic cells basically are primitive. They are incomplete cells, and they are always unicellular organisms. Few examples are bacteria, blue-green algae. They all are prokaryotes. Let's talk about the eukaryotes now. Eukaryotes basically are those organisms whose cell contain a well-defined nuclear membrane. These are the cells which are advanced and complete cells. Eukaryotes include all living organisms. They can be multicellular, they can be unicellular, except for bacteria and blue green algae. All of the organisms are eukaryotes. Even microorganisms like amoeba and paramecium are also eukaryotes. You can see here the plant cell and the animal cell. They have not only a nuclear membrane bound nucleus, but they also have cell organelles which are membrane bound. All these are absent in prokaryotic cells. So these plant and animal cells are eukaryotic cells. Now let's compare the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes in terms of their cells. Now the size in prokaryotes, the size is generally small. You can see the size range. In eukaryotes, the size is generally large. In prokaryotes, the nuclear region is not well defined and it is not surrounded by a nuclear membrane. That is why it is called nucleoid. On the other hand, in eukaryotes, the nuclear region is very well defined. It is surrounded by a well formed nuclear membrane. In prokaryotes, the chromosome is single. On the other hand, in eukaryotes, the chromosomes can be more in number. Then in prokaryotes, membrane-bound cell organelles are absent, which are very much present in eukaryotes. Few examples of organisms which have prokaryotic cells, and these organisms are called prokaryotes, are bacteria, blue-green algae. On the other hand, few examples of eukaryotic organisms are fungi, plants, animals, and eukaryotic cells are the fungi cell, the plant cells, the animal cells. Now, before ending the video, let's take a small last topic, that is cytoplasm. As you all know that cytoplasm is the part of protoplasm which lies outside the nucleus. It is present inside the plasma membrane, but outside the nucleus, it is the fluid-like substance present. Now, cytoplasm contains several organelles that can perform distinct functions of the cell. The various functions performed by cytoplasm are: it supports and suspends the cell organelles and molecules. The cellular processes occur in cytoplasm such as formation of proteins. It allows the movement of substances in the cell such as hormones. It dissolves cellular waste. With this, I end the video here. We'll meet in the next video.